takes, that's you. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, stop me. 4 takes, that's you. 3 takes, not me. 2 takes if you lucky. First take, you got me.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Cobb and Dash Show. We got our guy Cobb back from Portugal, so this is great. Cobb, how you doing, buddy? You feeling relaxed and well rested from the trip?
Yeah, man. It was a great getaway. Fun, long 2 weeks. Definitely exhausted now, but I'm ready to get back to business.
Yeah, it was a nice way. I'm sorry that I couldn't give you a win to welcome you back into the States this weekend, but I had to pay you back for not being on the show, and we had viewers messaging the account saying where's Cobb at, and they're upset, and I had a little payback, a little revenge for not being here.
Listen, I get it. I'll be the first to admit my head hasn't been completely into fantasy yet this week, but you guys are about to see the turnaround, so let's go.
Yeah, well, I will say, Barry did a phenomenal job filling in for you and Alex last week, and actually talking about Alex, let me just say, I got a couple things to talk about him. So as you know, Alex is right now, according to rankings, he's the worst team in the league right now. Alex just messaged us a letter before getting on today, saying that he will not be making the Cobb and Dash Show, and he is likely out for the foreseeable future of the Cobb and Dash Show, which is crazy because he was the one who's always pushed the show more than anybody else. But I will read you his press release that he sent to the commissioner, myself. Big Barry Content official statement. Due to recent performance and injuries, BBC has decided to take a step away from the show for a few weeks in order to refocus and prepare for our matchup this Sunday. Internal leaders within the team have stepped up as well, volunteering to remove the ping pong table inside the clubhouse so we can avoid all distractions for this week's matchup. GM Alex Olson failed to comment as to whether a name change is on the horizon. So, what do you guys think about Alex not coming on the show? I mean, we'll get to his team later. I'm sure we all have something to say about it during the pancake standings. But what do you guys have to think about Alex not coming on the show for 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, it's a tough look. I was in Europe for over 2 weeks. I only missed one show. But you got to do what you got to do. Similar to what I needed. I realized it was a kind of rough patch, and it seems like Alex is doing the same way. So maybe he needs to take a little trip, clear the headspace a little bit. Hopefully Barry has some motivational words for him here at the end of we'll get to that, I guess. But I just wish him the best. Hope to see him back here soon.
Barry, what do you guys say about Alex?
Yeah, I wish him the best as well too. He's always pumped up to be on the show, and obviously him missing the last 2 weeks is his team not performing, so that doesn't help. So just hopefully he gets back on the show soon.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I think some think Stu might have stolen his thunder by changing his team name to incorporate Barry. So there's only ever been 2, and there being 3 seemed like Alex was the odd man out. Unfortunate.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Alex and I talked about it when Stu changed his team name, and he was like, "Okay, we're gonna get 3 teams in this year." I was like, "Oh, maybe there's room for 2, maybe." And then I guess that's what it's looking like. And based on Alex's team, it's looking like there's going to be 2. But, okay, before we get into the Week 6 preview, we got to go over the Week 5 takeaways. And the Week 5 takeaways are, for me, each of us have one. From my Week 5 takeaways, I said it before the season started. I said it when the keepers were announced and the way the draft board looked. I said Stu was going to be a force. Stu was going to be winning the championship. Just based on his keepers. I know a lot of people laughed at me, but I was the only one on that show. On that show, the keeper show, I was the only one who said this. And, yeah, it's looking like that's legitimate. That's going to happen. Stu won the high score this week, his first time all season. He still remains undefeated. And, it's looking like there's going to be a collision course between ZT and Stu in the championship, which I called on that keeper show. I know ZT's fallen off a little bit, but ZT will be playing Stu in the championship probably, I think. But yeah, that's where I have it. Stu being the runaway first place and 1 seed in this league is my takeaway for week 5.
We might have to go check the tapes, but I'm pretty sure I had Stu in the championship, and I also pretty sure I've been picking him every single week, even when I was in Europe.
That I didn't say. I didn't say I did.
I know. I'm just. We're big Stu fans here on the show.
That's true.
It'd be great to get him on, but obviously he's a busy guy with all the success. My takeaway is just I'm on the road. I'm putting the rest of it behind me, but I'm on to bigger, better things. Don't want to look into the past with me right now. It's been rough.
Barry?
Yeah, my biggest takeaway, before I get into that, I have a question for Dash. So you having Stu and ZT in the championship, I mean, your team's been playing pretty well with the triple stack over there. You sure you don't want to put yourself in the championship yet?
At this time, I'm sticking with my preseason prediction.
That's unlike you. All right.
I'm not a cocky guy, Barry.
But my biggest takeaway from last week was my matchup against ZT. I knew it was going to be a pivotal matchup. Whoever wins that game is going to have a pretty good run at make a run in the playoffs. Even though I'm not out of it by any means, but it really came down to the wire with the Devontae catch at the end was the decider. So that was my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, and I'll say, everyone kind of was vying for that high score of the week right then and there. So it was pretty close. Hodge had it, then Paul was second to Hodge. Stu came back, and then I came back, and then it was Stu and me at the end there between Mahomes and CEH and Kelsey versus Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs had pretty much the last offensive drive there. So Stu was able to get away with that. So good for Stu. Hey, man, we're rooting for you, Stu. I don't know what you mean by that, what I'm doing, but we see what you're doing, and you're going undefeated, dude. You're going to break my all-time scoring record. You're going to break Cobb's I don't know. Did you go undefeated? You haven't gone undefeated. You didn't go undefeated last
No,
year.
I didn't go undefeated. I think I had maybe a loss or two.
Yeah, kind of boring.
I had highest points overall if you can include playoffs, though. So coming for 2 records, I think. Your record, my record.
I don't think anyone. No one does the combined points. People only do the
Yahoo does. So
I don't think so.
No, check the record books.
Well, last year you also can't count last year because I think I led the league in points last year.
No. I'm saying overall the most points scored this season. I have that right now.
Yeah, but people only count the regular season. MVP is counted in the regular season. No one
Regardless, Stu's going for both. He's going to be the name on that. Yeah,
that's true. I'll give you that one. Oh man! All right. Okay. So now we're gonna go to the week 6 preview. But before we do the week 6 preview, we have a word from our sponsor, and that is Marcus Berry Fitness. Marcus Berry Fitness is back. It's here. It's Halloween season. We want people to get fit. We want people to get into their costumes, looking nice and buff. I was watching a special on The Rock and the Black Adam movie, and how he was talking, how he had to fit into his costume. Well, I looked right at Barry. I was like, dude, Marcus Berry Fitness, it's time. And he was like, yep, it's time. So get your workout in and give Marcus Berry a call. DM him on Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
Another one of my favorite workouts is the reverse lunge. The way we're going to do this is we're going to step on the resistance bands, and then you're going to place one of your feet backward. And then once you do that, you're going to raise up the bands all the way up to your shoulders, and then you're going to squat down, okay? You're going to start your lunge. So you're going to make sure your knees are over your toes, and then get in your lunge position and squat down. Making sure your thighs are parallel to the ground.
And again, that's Marcus Berry Fitness. You can reach out to him on Instagram, Facebook, and if you're in this league, you probably have his number. So give him a text or a call. He's looking to get you fit for Halloween, and even preparation for turkey bowls are coming up in Thanksgiving time. People want to lose weight before Thanksgiving so they can eat a lot on Thanksgiving. I know a lot of people do that. They drop some weight, then Thanksgiving they gain it back. So give them a call. All right. So tonight there's a lot of good matchups this week, and I think it's all I would say the matchups this week on the in the Basement League Plus outshine the matchups that we see in the NFL this week. There's a lot of bad matchups in the NFL this week outside of like one that everyone's looking at. But we're going to go to our first matchup. And Cobb, I want you to talk about the guy you've selected to win on the show pretty much every week, and Stu. So we got Stu versus Adam, and I want you to talk about it.
Yeah, happy to. I've been one of the biggest Stu supporters out there, and I think this is going to be a good matchup to show who the real runners of this league are right now. Adam's sitting there in third place, looking kind of like a pretender. You look at the points for that he has. Everyone around him has almost 100 more points for than him. I think everyone in the top six, except for ZT, has 100 more points for than he does. So I think this is a good matchup to kind of start to balance the league out a little bit. I know the first couple weeks can be a little hectic. There's always that one person who sneaks a little high. Some better teams fall because of it, but Stu's obviously been on a roll. He just got his most points. He scored the most points last week, and going matchup to matchup against Adam. I do like Kirk Cousins this week. I think he's going against Miami offense that hasn't really been able to stop anybody. Except, I guess the Josh Allen game was a little weird, but I do like Kirk Cousins, and I think that's a good matchup to keep up with how Jalen Hurts has been doing for Stu, because he's one of the better fantasy quarterbacks in the league, and Stu made that move for him for a reason, and I think as far as matchup goes, I think I'm still going to give Jalen Hurts the slight edge, but I think that matchup's a little closer than it typically would be on a different week if Kirk Cousins wasn't facing Miami. Hollywood Brown against Drake London. I'm going to give it to Hollywood Brown. Drake London, outside the first couple of weeks, he's kind of him and Kyle Pitts too. Like, that offense hasn't figured it out. Hollywood Brown, on the other hand, has been phenomenal. I think he's gotten double-digit targets almost every week. Every week since week one, he's had double-digit targets. He's also has 3 touchdowns on the season, so easy Hollywood Brown. Nick Chubb versus Dobbins. Nick Chubb's being on an amazing run this year. Nick Chubb. Dallas Goedert versus Njoku. I'm going to give it to Goddard. He gave that stack to Stu as well. Thielen versus A.J. Brown. This is where I'll give it probably to A.J. Brown, but it's interesting that they both have a kind of a counter to the other person's quarterback. Stu has Thielen, and Adam has A.J. Brown, but I'll give A.J. Brown the edge there. McCaffrey versus Pittman. I'll give McCaffrey. Demont versus Judy. I don't know, probably Demont, but it's kind of a wash to me. I don't like the Thursday game. I think tonight's game is going to be kind of nasty, and then Judy. I don't know. The whole Broncos offense is a mess. But here, I have Stu winning almost all those matchups for good reason. I have Stu winning this matchup pretty handedly, putting Adam back. Adam's still going to be in good standing, even if he loses this game. He'll be 2 wins over 500. But I have Stu winning this. Let's call it 155 to 125.
Barry, what do you have for the score for this one?
Yeah, I'm going to take Stu here, 145 to 121.
I'm gonna go. I want Adam to win. I want us to have everybody with at least one loss. But I think Stu's team is looking pretty good. I will say though, Hurts is playing a tough Dallas team. I think that game is going to be a lot closer, and kind of like a 21 to 14 kind of game. So that could hurt. Yeah, I guess just keep an eye on the tonight's game to see how Montgomery does in that last flex spot. But I think it's going to be a close one. Actually, the more I look at it, I'm going to go I think Adam pulls off the upset here. Yeah, Adam's going to pull off the upset. Adam's going to win 141 to 129. Adam wins. And I agree. I think Adam is a pretender, but I think Adam pulls up the opposite. I think a team can only win as a team can't go on that Stu's team's not an undefeated team. That team is bound to lose, and I think this is the week. Even though I've been saying that every week, but I think this is the week for sure this time. But that's where I have it. Barry, talk to us about the Hotch and Ruben game. That's a very intriguing one. Not really sexy one, but an intriguing one. So talk to us about that one.
Yeah, Hotch has owned this matchup even last year. Hotch blew him out. It was a pretty high-scoring game. I believe the score was 191 to 158. But going into this year, Hotch is, as I mentioned earlier a couple weeks ago, that Hotch's team will start to pick up at that point, and now he's starting to gain momentum again. So the matchups here, you got Josh Allen at KC, and then you have Joe Burrow against New Orleans. Ooh, that's going to be a tough matchup because I feel like Josh Allen's been putting up some ridiculous numbers, but Joe Burrow can use some home cooking and return him back to Louisiana. So I'm going to take Joe Burrow in that matchup there. T. Higgins versus Jamar Chase. T. Higgins barely played last week. I don't know if he played at all, actually, but I'm going to take Chase in that matchup. Then you have Najee Harris versus Ken Walker. I'm going to take Ken Walker. He had a big game last week, and he's going to step up again this week. And then you have Mike Gesicki versus Will Dissly. Not a big fan of Mike Gesicki. He gets like one target a game, and then it's either a boom or bust for him. Kind of same for Will Dissly too, but I'm going to take Will Dissly in that matchup. Then you have Gabe Davis versus Justin Jefferson here. Pretty good matchup, but I'm going to take Justin Jefferson. Then you have Chris Olave versus Romeo Doubs. Going to take Olave there. And you have Gallup versus McKenzie. I'm going to be on the McKenzie train. I think he's going to pick up some momentum. I think he's going to be a good play this week. And then you have Lutz versus Sanders. I'm going to take Jason Sanders there, i.e. kind of looks like a Cobb a little bit if you look at the fantasy picture. So
Yeah, he does.
A little fantasy plug there for Cobb. But although I'm going to take Hotch here, winning in a pretty significant victory here. I'm going to go 145 to about 113.
Not bad, Cobb. What do you think about the score? What do you think about the matchup for here?
Yeah, I was actually surprised by Barry picking Burrow over Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is far and away going to be the best quarterback in it. But I looking at this matchup, I think if it was any other team other than Ruben, I think Hotch would be on upset alert just because I heard Olave might not play. He's already starting Isaiah McKenzie. Pierce, the Houston running back's on bye. I don't think Hotch has a great backup plan for him, at least not from the looks of it. So if it was any other team other than Ruben, I would potentially pick an upset here, but I'm going to go Hotch. Similar to what Barry said, pretty handedly. I'd go 145 to 110 for Ruben's team because I also heard that T. Higgins might not even play. So I was actually making sure Ruben wasn't missing a player because his projection was so low.
Yeah, I think Hotch wins. I will say Ruben, he got a dub last week. His projections are so bad. Yeah, Ruben's got no shot in this game.
He won another game where he barely scored. Like he scored 105 this week and got a win.
I know. I honestly think that's a season high. 105 is a season. I'm pretty sure it is.
108 the week before.
What was it? 106.
108.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, I'll take Hotch 135 to 115. Or no, 135 to 105. I'll give him the 105. I feel bad for the kid. All right. The next matchup here is Alex and ZT. This is a good one. This is a fun one. Oh boy, Alex and ZT. All right. Where do I even begin with this one? Okay, so Alex is not on the show tonight because he just he doesn't want to get dogged, and for that reason I'm going to dog him even more. He doesn't understand that his dogging is only coming worse if you're not on the show. So like you're not going to get dogged when you're on the show. We don't really do that to each other. We kind of do it, like kind of smirk about it, but like that's pretty much it. But anyway, so Stafford looks awful this year. So Lamar against the New York Giants, better defense than the Carolina, but I'm still going to go Lamar by a lot. Yeah, Scary Terry versus Cup. I'm going to go Cup, obviously, because that's the only good thing on that Rams team. James Conner, Barkley. Conner's not playing. Barkley. Freiermuth's probably not playing with this concussion that he's got. Irv Smith, both bad tight end situations, but I'll go Irv Smith because he's going to play. Christian Kirk, Metcalf. I'm going to go Metcalf, actually, with Arizona's defense and the way Geno Smith's been slinging it. Kamara, Kamara. Ramondre Stevenson, Duvernay. That's a wash. Duvernay's actually been playing really well. Got to shame if anybody had him this year. They should have kept him. Barry.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. But, Alex is getting rocked. There's another game where Alex drops. Alex is going to have his worst finish in Basement League, in his career in the Basement League Plus history. ZT wins 140, 135 to 118. ZT, what do you guys have for this game?
I have ZT as well. Alex has Connor in there right now. I don't think Connor is going to play. Apparently, he might miss multiple weeks, what I heard today. Like you said, unfortunately, Alex, going to have you holding down that bottom spot for another week at least. ZT winning this pretty handily. I'll go 150 to 1. I'll go 115. I don't think it's going to be that good.
I'm taking ZT here as well. Even though ZT beat me last week, I told, as I mentioned earlier, whoever wins that game with me or ZT from last week, it's going to have a big impact on their season. And he won last week, and he's just going to continue this momentum. So I'm taking him 130 to about 106.
Not bad. Yeah, Alex is really done, man. I feel like there's gonna be a lot more conversation about Alex's team in the next 20 minutes or so when we get to a certain part of the show. Okay, so Cobb, I want you to talk to me about. Actually, before we get to this one, so this is the next one's Dash versus Dash. So me versus Tasia. So that'll be an interesting one. But before we get that, we have to talk about Tasia. So Tasia was the low score last week, and Tasia will not be joining the show tonight, but he saw what ZT did. He sent in a video of his own. So Tasia will be chugging a little beer ski for us, a little California beer. I don't know what kind it was, but it's already poured out. So here's Tasia's drink and chug. And sorry to disappoint you guys. It's not anything like ZT's last week, because ZT's was a Hall of Famer. That's going into the Hall of Fame of chug. I'm not gonna lie. But this is
we need to talk to ZT to show him a few things, because that was hard to watch.
It was really bad.
I was watching over in Europe. I had a group of people being like, "What the hell are you watching?"
Oh my god!
Couldn't show him. I didn't have the heart.
Yeah, if I were ZT, I want to burn the archive of that. I would have come on the show for that. Wow, even you're coming on the show, it's getting recorded. So, but anyway, here's here's Tasia's chug for week 5.
All right, you fucking losers. Here it is. This one goes out to CP and his awful fucking roster. May he rest in fantasy peace.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And a little shout out to CP, who's actually been pretty active in our group message for the first time in years.
Yeah.
For months.
That was a good chug.
It was. I think he probably could have finished about 20 of those before ZT finished his. So pretty good.
Yeah, at least 3 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, looked like a good beer. I'd be interested to see what he was having there. It looked like a strong one.
He sent me the can. I don't know anything about this. He sent me what it looked like. It's called Paulaner Munchen. I think it's a brand. It's German, obviously. It was a sour grapefruit radler.
I was gonna say it looked like a sour, yeah.
Yeah, grapefruit radler. Hey man, California man, sour season all year long. You know. But anyway, we got So it's Cops. Talk to us about Dash versus Dash, the first ever Dash versus Dash Bowl in the in BL Plus history.
Yeah, this is exciting. Definitely an exciting matchup. Hopefully we have a close game here. We just saw Tasia yesterday just made a trade. I think it was a good trade for him. He got George Kittle and Jakobi Meyers. I think, I don't know, overall I thought it was a solid trade for him. Jacoby's been looking great, and I think Kittle's bound to bounce back. But let's go matchup to matchup. Obviously, with how Dash's stack has been going, I'm going to have to give Mahomes the edge over to Rodgers. But I do think this is going to be a close matchup. I hope Kansas City and Buffalo is a shootout like we're all hoping it's going to be, because it's just a fun to watch as a fan. And two, I think that's going to be a big matchup for Dash, obviously, because Rodgers looked, I don't know, not great against the Giants last week. He got a 20, but I was looking at Rodgers' stats after losses, and he obviously bounces back a lot. I think he's 9-0 under LaFleur, so I think that's going to be a pretty close matchup. But I'm still going to give the edge to Mahomes, just hoping that it's going to be a big shootout. Deebo Samuel against CeeDee Lamb. I know Philly's run defense is really good, but I know their pass defense isn't that great. So I think that's going to be a pretty close matchup. I'm going to go slight edge to Deebo Samuel there. I see Dash did put in Brian Robinson. Big fan of that move. I'm excited. I have him in another league, and I'm excited to see what he can do. Hopefully he does take over that backfield. Going against Aaron Jones, I think it's an easy Aaron Jones pick. Kittle versus Kelsey, have to go Kelsey. CEH versus Godwin. I think Godwin takes that one. I think Pittsburgh's pass defense is fucking ass. So I think Godwin's a good matchup there. Amari Cooper against Michael Thomas. I don't know. I heard Olave might not play, and I think, or I guess maybe it was Michael Thomas who might not play. Yeah, he's the one who didn't practice. Olave did. Depending on how that shapes up, I guess I'll give Amari Cooper the slight edge right now. The TBD on Michael Thomas's status. Jakobi Meyers versus Mostert. I guess Mostert. I wouldn't have thought Mostert would have been the guy this year with that offense. Everyone was saying Chase Edmonds, but Mostert, we've seen how he plays when he's healthy. Just the previous seasons, he's just never been healthy. So he's looked great. So this is actually a really good matchup, better than I was expecting going in, and shaping up to be a good kind of Clegane Bowl style. I'm going to give it, just because of the stack, I'm going to give Marcus Dash the win here. Slight win. I'm going to go 145 to 142. I think it's going to be close.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Barry, what's your projection for this one?
I'm going with the upset here. I'm going with Tasia. I'm going 135 to 131. Be very close, but I'm going to go with Tasia here.
Why? Just curious.
TD Stackers is back. The stack is back. He made some moves on his roster, but I think this is the game that he wins.
Key logic there. Just because you had Aaron Rodgers in the stack before is literally the only reason why I got out of that one.
Stack is back.
Yeah, I'll speak on this. I'll give my Alex version of why I think my team's going to win, why my team's good this week. But no, man, I think it is a close victory. I think just looking at Taja's team, he's done it so much. Man, it's like a complete overhaul. Like he actually cares about his team, and I think forget about off-season trades, but in-season trades, I think Taja's done more in-season trades than CP's done in pretty much like I can't remember that many in-season trades that CP did throughout his entire BL Plus history. So I give Taja a lot of credit. People who were like, concerned about Taja coming into the league and, just being a different owner. I don't know why people were concerned about it because, I mean, he's taken this team and has made this team relevant, really. This team has a chance of making the playoffs. It might not even be in my pancake rankings in the next when we do
Especially with D-Hop coming back, this is a good roster.
I know it's deep. It's deep too.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. And there was guys like Paul and I will say I'm happy that Paul and Tasia finally put to bed the rivalry. Although I don't think the rivalry's dead yet because
I think it's a PR stunt.
it is a PR stunt. Yeah, they did that deal together for that. But I will say this. So you got Mahomes, Rodgers, Mahomes against Buffalo. It's the highest total points game for the weekend, 54 points. So that game, there's gonna be a lot of scoring in that game. So 54 between that, and I'll give Mahomes the edge over Rodgers. Rodgers looks awful. Debo, CeeDee Lamb, give me Debo against Atlanta. Debo's going to do Debo things, carrying the ball, catching the ball, doing his thing. And the game won't be a blowout like last week. It'll be more of a closer game. So I think Debo wins that. Brian Robinson, Aaron Jones. I'll give Aaron Jones the upper hand here. I went Brian Robinson because Zeke's giving me 7s and 9s every week. So it's like, I mean, really, how much different can Brian Robinson get between Zeke's stats? And Bears actually giving up a lot of yards to the run, so with the run this year, so I'll do that. Kelsey Kittle's done. I'm glad. Hey, Tate's taking a shot and seeing what the guy's got because I think Kittle's washed. But Tate's taking a shot was better than the other guys he had, so good for him for doing that. CEH Godwin. I'm gonna go. That's a wash between CEH and Godwin. That's a wash. Cooper, Michael Thomas. I'm going to go Cooper. Cooper's get dominating. I mean, he's the only thing that offense really, that passing offense has over there besides Hunt's checkdowns out the backfield. Amari Cooper's the guy, but it'll be kind of close, but I'm going to lean Cooper. Mostert and Myers. Give me Mostert. Mostert volume-based. Myers, he is the only guy that they're throwing to over there, but you can't really trust that passing offense in New England right now with between Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones. So I'm going to go my team. And then also, this is something that I'm going to have to say this. We never really go over defense here, but my defense has been averaging 22 points plus every game this season. 22 points plus every game this season. So when you're getting averaging a 7 from each guy, that's when you kind of have to start looking at the defense. And my team's looking pretty key. So, yeah, I'm going to give my team in contention for the high score again this week at 156 to 135. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with it. Tasia, I know you're on the chat right now. Tasia, what do you think about the projections? Just want to see what you have to say. What do you think the projection is for the game? Cooper against Pats. I mean, can you give me your projection here? I mean, you're just gonna say that. All right, we'll come back to him later. Yeah. Okay. So the next matchup here we got who's this? Tasia. So Paul versus Barry. Cobb, can you do Paul versus Barry?
Yeah, I just did the dash one though.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. I'll do Paul versus Barry then. So I got Paul versus Barry. We just kind of talked Paul, made some moves this week. I don't really like the moves Paul made. I like the concept, like the stack concept. I mean, I'm always looking for a stack. I mean, so that's pretty nice that he went and got a stack. But I don't know. He got rid of Myers. I think Myers is pretty on par with what Keenan Allen's doing. Yeah. Okay, so Tasia didn't really give us a projection, but Tasia just said Myers has outscored most for the last 2 weeks. I fucking need Thomas to play is what I need. So this is what we got from him. So we got something. But anyway, back to Paul and Barry. So Barry, 2 or 3, he had a nice little comeback at the end of that game on Monday night. Couldn't beat out ZT, gave ZT new life to the season. And that might come back to hurt Barry because I think you guys have the same record right now. So it's going to come back to hurt you. So we'll see how that plays out. But we're going to go to the projections here. And Paul's another team, man. Paul, a lot of people were loving Paul's team. I believe there were some people on this call who were on the show who were really loving Paul's team. And Paul went from 2-0. Now he's
2-3. Yeah.
Now he's 2-3. So it's not good. Yes. I took Astros -1.5, and they took a 2-run lead. Okay, so we got Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert. I'm gonna go Kyler Murray against Seattle. Seattle's defense I mean, every game they play is pretty much a shootout. And then Denver's defense, as much as we laugh about the offense over there and the team of Denver, that defense is really good. So I like Kyler Murray to have a really good week this week, so he'll win that. I'll say the quarterback is going to be a pretty big disparity. There's going to be 10 points there. I think Kyler Murray wins that by a good amount. You got Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs. We've actually done a pretty good job against Stephon Diggs. We played them. And I think Tyreek Hill, with that quarterback situation, I feel like Tyreek Hill is going to get more volume based. He'll get him a lot more touches, like Debo-esque kind of game where they're getting him like balls like in different areas and stuff. I feel like he edges, digs out slightly. That's because of just volume based. Eckler and Breece Hall. I'll go Eckler. Both pretty good run defenses. I think it'll be close though between those two. I think he'll get a lot of catches at the backfield, so the PPR aspect's going to help him. Zach Ertz and Mark Andrews. Give me Mark Andrews very easily. Miles Sanders, Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor probably not going to play, is what I'm reading. So, he'll have to go to his bench, and I'm not going to look at who his bench guy is going to be. I'll look at his top guy. Kareem Hunt or Curtis Samuel. So he's got about an hour and a half to start Curtis Samuel, so that's probably not going to happen. So it'll probably be Kareem Hunt against the Patriots. Whew. Yeah, I don't know. Miles Sanders over whoever he puts in from his bench as well. I'll go with that. Then you got Boone. Is that a joke?
Got 3 ones out there.
Devontae Smith over Boone. Not even close either. Juju Smith-Schuster at Keenan Allen. Is Keenan Allen playing? Let's see here. Was limited. He's limited. That's a good sign. I'll go Juju just because I know he's gonna play. But Keenan Allen, it's another questionable guy. Yeah, the worst part about this is he's got one of the guys he would plug in playing tonight. So, that kind of sucks. I'll go Juju over Keenan Allen, even though Juju's got Keenan Allen's got a couple more days to play to get ready for Monday. But I'll go that. But, honestly, I think Barry's going to win this one based on this. I think Barry wins. I think it'll be close, though. I think Barry wins 135 to 126. Barry in a close one. Cobb, what do you think this game's going to be?
Yeah, no, this is going to be pretty close one. I think this week, just with Devontae out, I think if Devontae was playing this week, I'd have Barry for sure. But I do like Paul's depth, and I think he's going to have points coming from more people. So I don't know. This is a tough one. I'm going to give Paul the slight edge here, unfortunately. Not that, that means that this isn't going to be good. Like, it could literally go either way. I do think, like you pointed out, I was going to point out the Keenan Allen start, hoping that he starts because could be a big swing in Barry's direction. If Keenan Allen plays, I'm having Paul winning this matchup very closely. I'm going to go 140 to 135. But if he doesn't, I got Barry. Same scores.
Barry, how do you feel about this matchup, man?
Yeah, this year's a lot different from previous years. This matchup has been around since 2017, and I've owned the matchup 5-3.
Oh,
yeah,
it's good stat.
But all of our games a couple of our games been pretty close, and with this year, Devontae. I really need Devontae in the lineup, and we don't know what this situation with the whole pushing incident. Don't know if he's going to be suspended, but I'm still going to take myself here. I think it's going to be really, really close. He's got a pretty good lineup, and I'm going to take myself 133 to 130.
It's not bad. Stu wants more stats like that, which I kind of want more stats like that too.
I do too. We had Alex doing a lot of stats last year. It's been kind of behind this year, so I think Barry's got to step in.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, hey, I'm here.
I like it too.
What's up?
No, I said I like it too. That's what I said. All right.
The MB stackers. We got the MB statters now. Let's go.
And Alex has been all over you, dude. Alex wants to know why you're betting you haven't paid your fantasy dues yet. Talk about that.
Damn.
Now we don't have to talk about that. We talk about it offline. All right. Ooh, Stat Barista Barry.
That barista. Ooh.
New segment, maybe? We could see. We'll see about that. We'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it. All right. Okay, so Barry, do the honors of doing the final one between Rhodey and Cobby.
All right. So for this matchup, these two teams have both met in the championship a couple of years ago, and Cobb winning that one. But it's different teams now, and so you have Tom Brady versus Russell Wilson. I'm going to take Brady there. Russell Wilson doesn't look very good after signing that giant contract and thinking, or signing that $250 million or whatever it was, and he hasn't really lived up to it. Then you have Mike Adams versus Cortland Sutton. I'm taking Mike Adams with the TB stackers there.
Mike Evans.
What's up?
Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans. I'm taking Mike Evans there.
I heard Mike Adams. Sorry.
You have Leonard Fournette versus Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon's probably a fumble away from getting benched, so I'm going to take Leonard Fournette there. Then you have Everett versus Higbee. I'm going to take Higbee there. And then you have Waddle versus Mixon. Ooh, that's going to be pretty close matchup there. I'm going to take Mixon there. Then you have Mike Williams versus Dalvin Cook. I'm taking Cook in that matchup. And then you have Wilson versus Deontay Johnson. I'm going to take Wilson there. And that being said, I'm taking Dave to pull up the win here. I'm going to go 135 to 120 there.
Cobb, what do you think about your matchup, man? Let's hear your Alex rationale. Okay, yeah, I'll give you my prediction. I think you come close in this one, but I think it's I think it's another loss. Dude, and that's the thing. I told Barry last week, and I'll tell everybody else, I want this show to have some kind of allure to it. I want everybody who's a host of the show to make the playoffs every year. To say, like, oh, yeah, the Cobb and Dash show, yeah, we make the playoffs every year. It's unfortunate because I think it's going to be the first time that the majority of this show won't make the playoffs. Barry included, really. I think, actually, here's another funny nugget, actually. Every person who has been on this show this year, besides me, has a losing record. And I'm even talking about Ruben, too. So you got Ruben, you got Barry, you got Alex. All of you guys. It's like a curse. It's kind of sucks, actually. But I'm rooting for you regardless. But I think you're smart money. If I was betting on this, I would bet on Roden. So,
yeah, I think I totally understand both of your picks. I think the biggest thing here is that Tampa Bay matchup against Pittsburgh. That's a rough one. Buffalo just torched them, and I'm kind of worried Tampa Bay is about to do the same because he has that triple stack there with Brady, Fournette, and Evans. So it could be over literally at that game. I am hoping I'm hoping just being back that my guys are going to start pulling it together. Been away for 4 to 5 football weekends, which is kind of weak. And I'll be the first to admit that. I do think it's going to be a close one. I need this one to be a close one just because of how the matchup shaped up and how the Broncos have just looked. Russell Wilson, I mean, he's looked awful. No hiding that. But I'm hoping that they get at least a stack one stack touchdown to Sutton. So I'm going to go myself in a close one, 135 to 130. I do think I was, watching the tape of the season. I think I've also been kind of hard on Roden's team. Roden's team shaped up to look really good now. And I'll hand up. I was wrong about that. He's looking good. But yeah, no, I'm going to have myself in a bounce back. I think my bounce back starts now. And I'm kind of fortunate that almost over half the league is under 500 because it's not going to be the hardest climb in the world, but it's still going to be a tough one with how my guys have been performing. So.
All right. Hey man, it's a tough week, but this is kind of a week where like if you're a 1-win team, like you said, most teams are below 500. But yeah, you got if you are a 1-win team right now, losing this week, I think it kind of puts you away. Even though Alex and I were talking, he thought that you and him, if you guys both lost last week, you guys were done last week. But you're giving yourself some hope, which is nice to see.
I have the most points against right now, so but not that my team's been performing, so it's been a tough go. I haven't had the Ruben schedule, so
yeah,
unfortunate.
You mean the Adam schedule? Because I think Adam has the least amount of points scored against him.
Well, I was saying Ruben's won when he's scored under 110 twice.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Have you played him yet?
I've not.
Okay, well, at least you have a dub.
I've had a pretty tough schedule. Yeah.
Tell you what, I miss the days of having CP in this league where that was like a bye week every week. Every time you saw him, that was a bye week. So it's great that we have Tasia, but it's also weak that we don't have another bye built into the season. It's unfortunate, but whatever. All right, so now we're gonna go to the favorite part. It's the Pancake King rankings. Pancake King rankings are brought to you by IHOP, the home of the stack. Go ahead and get your stack. It's time for some pancakes. So go ahead and get that for you guys.
It's an awful song.
What's up?
No, I'm just not ready for the song.
All right, so it's Pancake King rankings time. Probably my favorite part of the show is this part. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, man. It's been a rough year for some of these guys in this league, and it's unfortunate because like I said, I love a lot of you guys, and it burns me to have to pick against you guys, have to put you in this list. But we have some new names in the list right now, especially where you are on it. But I'll begin. So my 7th spot is a team that has made the playoffs. It recently has been a consistent team in the playoffs, but I just feel like they're not the squad this year, man. They're not the squad that I thought they would be, and that's gonna be my guy Paul, dude. Paul has had a lot of hype behind him, and he builds a great team. There's just something about having bad luck, right? And I feel like he has the bad luck. He couldn't win with the 3-headed monster. He reshaped his team. Did a lot. I think he did too many trades. And I think he overthinks things. It goes to the whole analytics stuff that I'm very against the analytics. And he is one of those guys. Like the coach is overthinking stuff. Like 4th and 1, we're gonna go for it. It's like no, just punt the ball, play good defense. You get the ball back and get win the tug of war field position. But Paul is one of these analytics aggressive guys who wants to make a trade and do this and continue to upgrade his roster. I mean, you saw last year the Kadarius Toney trade, one of the worst trades in BL Plus history. And I love the kid, so don't take this personally, Paul, because I love you, buddy. But anyway, I have Paul as my 7th spot. I think as of right now, he's on the cusp of making the playoffs. I know he's a 5th seed in actuality based on points and stuff, but he's under 500. It's pathetic that we have under 500 teams in the playoffs, by the way. You guys need to start winning here. This is pathetic. But yeah, Paul's my 7th spot.
My 7th spot, it's going to have to be Barry. It's where he is right now. I think his team is really good. I just don't think he has the depth that the people above him do. And I think that's what keeps him at 7 right now. Obviously, that can change. You had a close game with ZT last week. And you have a pretty tough matchup this week too. And I think I was between you and Paul, and just because of Paul's depth right now, I have you just barely below at 7, but not far behind.
Yeah, Kaba, I'm going to agree with you there. I'm going to take myself at the 7 seed for the reasons you said, because I just don't have depth right now. But I'm going to be making some moves this week, so stay tuned. Got to get back into the race. So,
ooh, making some moves. Because I looked at your lineup. That lineup is atrocious, and that's a good segue. Actually, right now I have Barry's my 8th spot. Look at your lineup. You have Boone, the third string running back for the Broncos in your lineup right now, or I'm sorry, the backup right now. So
yeah, I mean, even for the Melvin Gordon is a fumble away.
No. Yeah. You had a chance to speak when you were talking about your team right there. I'm talking about your team right now. You're an
You
8
can
spot
talk
right
about
now.
Melvin Gordon when you talk about me.
Yeah, your team's shit, and it's gonna remain shit until I say otherwise. So it's an 8 spot right now for me on the official Pancake King rankings. You're an 8 spot. You got a lot of bouncing back to do. You need Eckler to bounce back. You need Kyler Murray to be the second round pick that you drafted him to be. You were actually debating about not even starting him last week, which is interesting.
Would have won.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think your team is not bad. You have good keepers. I think that's the thing. You have top heavy talent. You just don't have a good team. You have top heavy guys. But you don't have a good team around it, and that's gonna be your demise. And that's why I have you in 8 spot, and that's why I don't think you're gonna make the playoffs. As of right now, you can make moves. I could be wrong, but right now I'm right. You're an 8 spot. Kyle, what do you think? Or who's your 8 spot?
No, I'm following the board right now. I have Roden at my 8 spot. I think his team is shaped up a lot better than I expected it to. I think especially with the trades that he's been making, he got Fournette, he got Mike Williams, and his starting roster circled up or followed up at the end with Jeff Wilson is looking really good. You have some good talent on the bench, not the best. His bench has a little bit of question mark, but he does have Eli Mitchell on IR coming back. So even if if something happens with Jeff Wilson or they give Eli back the job, he has that portion locked on his roster. I could definitely see this team making a push for the playoffs. I just it's not the strongest roster out there. Like a lot of the playoff teams right now have better looking rosters in my opinion, but I do think Roden could make a push for playoffs. I have him at 8.
For my 8 seed, I'm putting Tasia here. I like that he has the stack now, and also I forgot to mention earlier. Yeah, George Kittle looks pretty bad so far, but I don't think that's going to last too long. I think he's going to be getting a lot more targets, and he's going to return back to the old George Kittle. This is a big matchup for Tasia, as I mentioned earlier, and I have him on the upset here, so I have him as my 8 seed right now.
Yeah. So my 9 spot, I have ZT here. I spoke earlier about a snake-bitten franchise in Paul. And I think ZT is one of those guys. I mean, ZT, I said it last week. I actually had a good monologue on ZT last week about how he's wasting Lamar Jackson's prime being on his team. And although I'm not a big Lamar Jackson fan as far as being my quarterback in real life, I think fantasy-wise, he's one of the best fantasy quarterbacks we've had in a really long time, and maybe ever. And he's rotting away on ZT's team. And I think ZT wins this week. But overall, ZT's team is not. I mean, his tight end situation, Irv Smith Jr. is a free agent in most of my fantasy leagues. I mean, I'm not joking. He's a free agent in most of my fantasy leagues I'm in. I mean, he's kind of a bum. DJ Moore's not panned out for him. Boobie Gibson, who he thought was going to be the guy because Brian Robot, he got shot, and he thought Boobie Gibson was going to come in and just be the guy, and no, that didn't happen. Yeah, ZT's one of those guys. I talked about Paul being an overthinker. ZT's not really an overthinker. He just thinks he's smarter than you. So like he's obviously, he's overthinking that a little bit in a way. So he'll be stubborn about moves that are obvious moves. He won't make them just because he knows it's what everybody else thinks. He'll go the opposite way of that, which is fine. I love that kind of thinking. But when it comes to fantasy, not a fan of it. I don't think he makes the playoffs. And this is what I think right now. Maybe things change. Maybe he goes on a win streak. But right now, he's a 9 spot. He's not good. And he's wasting Lamar Jackson's prime. He needs to trade Lamar. If he doesn't make the playoffs this year, I think he needs to rebuild, and I think he needs to trade Lamar Jackson for some good stuff. That's what I think. But carry on.
Yeah, it's interesting. You had you're the current 5 and 6 seed out of the playoffs right now, so it's good stuff.
It's pretty good.
I'm on the other end. I'm going right by the board at 9 spot. I have Tasia. I think next week he's going to be a lot higher for me. Just when I'm talking about this week, what his team is right now. It's probably more recency bias, just of that low score that he just had, and where I think he'll finish up. I think it might be just outside of the playoffs. I really do like he has a good core of wide receivers, but I don't like that. Like you said earlier in the show, Aaron Rodgers hasn't looked great. I think he's going to have a great matchup this week. But for the rest of the season, I think QB play is really going to it's make or break games like all the time. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers going forward is going to be the best. I know he got Geno, but I mean, maybe it's only a matter of time until Geno's a starter. I think we actually talked about that. But right now I have him at 9. I think next week it could definitely be higher with D-Hop coming back because he does have a lot of good players. It's just I think there's some differences that other rosters have that he just doesn't have right now. So give him at 9. A high 9 though, like this 7 to 9 and even the 6 are all like super close for me.
Yeah.
For my 9th seed here, I'm actually taking Cobb here. He's obviously he's won the league 2 years in a row, but I just don't think he's there yet. Even though he's back in the United States, and he said he's going to take his fantasy season more seriously that he's back in town. I just have him at my 9th seed. I think the Russell Wilson situation, it's been a disaster so far, but I don't think that will last that long. I think he will actually get back on track. So right now, Cobb's my 9th seed.
Perfect segue. I have a Cobb as my 10 seed. Look, I said it before and I'll say it again. I like that Cobb when Cobb's good. I like that. But I will say there were some managers in the league who actually messaged me last week, or it was before I played you, I believe. But I think they were assuming I was going to beat you, and the person said, "The key line actually." I'm going to go to it real quickly. Well, I can continue to talk about it, but yeah, the person was like, it was more so along the lines of, "Oh, Cobb's right back to where he belongs," or some shit like that. It was a line that I would say, but he said it, and I was like, "Damn, dude, that's key." I'm gonna go to the exact one here. Jesus. Hold on. This is good. But anyway, I think if you're looking at it, having the Broncos stack killed you. I think it was awful. You just chose wrong, and sometimes it happens. And you went for it. And honestly, you could have kept Kittle, and Kittle blew also. But it didn't matter. I mean, I think you would have been fucked either way based on what we know now. I think you're even more fucked that you picked a triple stack of a stack of a bad offense. People keep saying triple stack about you. You had it. You got Melvin Gordon as a backup. It was that you didn't draft a triple stack. It sucks that this happened to you. But you probably had one of the best runs in the BL Plus history. So if it is going to happen to somebody, it's going to happen to you. So it's like, all right. God, I'm looking for it. I can't. Here, let me. I had to put your name in my. Okay, but you could go, Cobb. I'll pull it up when I find it.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to hear what they said because unless it was Hodge, which honestly it might have been, I have more championships than this person. Probably been a more championship games than this person. So I don't know what they're talking about or where I belong. So that's kind of weak. I can go pull out the winnings if I need to. But at the 10th spot, yeah, I have myself. Like Dash said. And Barry said the Russ pick just hasn't worked out. I decided to go for it. He's a guy that I thought would be potentially like the QB1 overall in the season. I was hyped about this offense, and I was wrong. This season going into it, I think this season out of any other season I can remember, this is the most wrong I've been about some players. And it hit, and it's unfortunate that this happened. I think I said in the Keeper show, if I knew Ruben was going to let Mike Williams go back to the draft, I would have traded for him and not Russ. But that's just how it shapes up, and I have to live with it. And I'm, was gone 4 to the 5, or I've been gone for the last 4 Sundays, so I haven't really been able to pay attention to fantasy, make the moves that I needed to make. But hopefully now that I'm back, I can get back on track. But for now, I'm at 10th spot until proven otherwise.
And as for my 10th seed, I'm taking Roden here. I don't think he's there quite yet, even though I do like his matchup this week. I just don't think he's there as a team just quite yet. So for my 10th seed here, I'm taking Roden.
All right. The line, I found it. I said, I'm lucky that Cobb went all in on the Broncos this year. Roden says, yeah, damn, LOL, he swung for it. back to his true roots. He had a good couple years there.
Fucking loser.
It was something I would say, and he said, "Oh, that's fantastic."
That's
I laughed at it and everything. It was fantastic.
That's right. One of the more successful owners this league's seen, so I'll take it.
And a couple days later, then Hodge also said that LOL or Cobb's team is so bad. LOL.
Yeah, it's not great.
All right, it happens. Hey, you had a good run. Some people will never see a run like that from themselves, let alone for somebody else. Okay, my 11th spot. This is where things change drastically. So the guy that we had locked in as the Pancake King for pretty much all season, even actually, I think after the draft, I think most of us had him as the undeniable Pancake King. But this guy's no longer the Pancake King. Ruben is my 11th spot. And you know what? The guy, hey, came on the show, drank week 1 for the lowest score. We thought we were going to see a lot more of him. We haven't actually, which is crazy, even though he's scoring a consistent 105 every week. I think he's averaging a 102 if you're to average all the scores. So kudos to him for only drinking once so far. He's drinking the same amount as me, and I've had 2 high scores, which is crazy. So good for him. It seems ass. But with Burrow and Higgins, I think that's going to give him a good leap over the other guy. We're about to. Well, I'll talk in the next ranking. But between those two, he's got Gabriel Davis, which is key. Michael Gallup is back. I don't know what that's going to do. Maybe when Dak comes back, he'll get more touches. But yeah. His last 2 flexes are a problem. Even his running back, the Najee Harris, that was all. I mean, we're seeing that's awful right now. And that's anybody. If you have anybody in the Pittsburgh, if you have any Pittsburgh stock, you're probably not going to be doing well. That's what I'm just gonna say that I haven't really looked at the numbers on that, but I guarantee all the teams who are in the playoffs right now, I wonder how many of them have a Pittsburgh Steeler in their starting lineup or a guy they're playing. I don't think any of them really do. I'm gonna go out there and say that. I think he might. This and Deontay Johnson would be the only 2 guys I would think would be startable at this point, on offense at least. Yeah. So, and who has Deontay Johnson in our league?
I do.
Okay, well there you go. So you and Ruben are 10-11 on the Pancake King rankings. So that makes sense. The only 2 guys that are startable from that team, and they're barely startable. But yeah, with this team, it's a really bad team, but it's not as bad as the team that we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, Ruben, hey man. If this is just for this week, hey, man, congratulations for getting out of the Pancake King. Hey, progress, baby. Progress. So, Ruby, good job, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there yet. With my 11th seed, I'm gonna have Alex. I think he's slightly better than who I have at the Pancake King rankings, but it's closer than I think any of us ever would have guessed coming in to 2 weeks ago. We had the consensus Pancake King, and now it's getting a little competitive. And I think that's kind of a shock, honestly. I think it's hopefully someone steps up, but if Stafford can fix it, I'm here clinging on to Russell Wilson, hoping he fixes it. I know Alex is doing the same with Stafford, but at least he has Kupp. He'll have James Conner coming back. Kirk has had a rough few weeks, but I think so. Now we're trying to see, is the last 2 week Kirk the real one, or is the first couple weeks the real one? So we'll get some more clarity on that. And then he also has Travis Etienne, who started looking a lot better than he did the first couple weeks. But yeah, I don't know. I have Alex at 11, and his team is in really rough shape, and I wouldn't blame him if he starts changing his team name here soon.
Yeah. Barry, who's your 11th spot?
Yeah, for my 11th spot, I actually have Ruben here. His team's barely breaking 100 points, but I don't know. Starting guys like Romeo Dobbs is very iffy there. But you are my 11th spot here. You're not the Pancake King anymore, so there you go.
All right. Okay, so now that brings us to favorite part of the show, which is the Pancake King. And we're gonna go ahead and roll the video for.
This is the song I was talking about.
The Pancake King.
You are the Pancake King, young and sweethearting fan of thieves. Ooh, see that boy
That's
I will never be able to hear. I can't hear the ABBA song anymore. That it's a song now.
terrible.
No more Dancing Queen. Do the Pancake King.
Yeah. Do you want me to go with mine first? Because you guys have the same ones.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, who's your Pancake King?
Mine's sticking to Ruben. He's scoring under 100 points. He's averaging under 100 points. You talked earlier about Stu not deserving undefeated season. Ruben should not have a win this year. He's gone through week 5 and he's averaging under 100 points per week, and he has 2 wins. Carry on.
All right, Barry. Who's your Pancake King?
With my Pancake King here, I actually have Alex.
What?
I just don't think his team's there quite yet. So, it's just a lot of question marks. Stafford situation right now is not hitting, but I said previously on the show that I think Stafford, his numbers right now won't last long. I think he'll actually be getting better later on in the season. So, as of right now, Alex, you're my last seed here.
All righty. Guess I'll have to say what this should be said, right? Okay. So Alex is my Pancake King. I hinted at it last week. I said if he lost, we'd be looking at Pancake King, and here we are. So Matt Stafford, right? I think he said it was rivaled one of the best stacks going into the season this year. It's not at all. Stafford has 4 games below 12.5 points this year. 4 games. That's awful. 4 games, and we're talking 5 weeks in the season, so most of the season has been subpar performance. Not even subpar. It's not startable. You can find a guy on the QB waiver wire that's doing better than that. Cooper Kupp's been phenomenal. Travis Etienne, who he blew his load on drafting him in the first round, it's like, I mean, I didn't want Travis Etienne. When I found out he was kind of a fan of him, I started texting him. It's like, dude, Travis Etienne, I'm kind of a fan. And he was like, yeah, I'm a big fan of him too. I'm like, okay, good. He's not going to draft who I want. Even though the guy I want hasn't done shit either. I just have a good team. I drafted well. But anyway, his tight end situation, meh. He was able to get Christian Kirk in that trade he did, which is great. I think getting rid of Lenny F was kind of stupid because that was kind of one of the only assets he had outside of Kupp, and he got rid of him for marginal growth. I mean, I don't really understand. So here's my thing. I think it's sad because I've never met a guy who likes fantasy more than Alex. I think I like fantasy. I think we all love fantasy, but there's something about fantasy with Alex that he's loved so much, and it's sad to see him be 1-4 in this league. I'm gonna go to some of the leagues I'm in with Alex, which is unfortunate. Really, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it because it makes sense to do it. I'm going to go to all my leagues with Alex here. Just hold on. Let me just do that. I have to set it up nicely for you guys. There you go. And there you go. Okay. All right. So we have this league. He's 1-4. He's the Pancake King. Another league, which he's won 3 times, I believe, in this league. He's 1-4 in that one as well. Another league, he is 1-4 in that one as well. Jesus. Another league, he is 3-2. Okay, he's not bad. He's 7th in this one, but he's 3-2. He's 7th overall. So, and the other one I'm in with him, he is 2-3. So overall in the season, his best team is 3-2, and most of them are 1-4. Sucks. Apparently his other league that he's a commissioner of, which he kind of robs people blind in that league, he's doing well in that one. So good. Hey. Do your thing, baby. Do your thing. It's a league with a bunch of Aiden's friends, so he robs those kids blind. Poor kids. But good for him, though. He needs that little pat on the back. He needs that little boost, a little confidence boost, because the way his fantasy season's going, it's awful. But he deserves this, man. He really deserves one league that he's doing well in, because I'd honestly be able to APB out for where this guy is, because we don't know where he is. I saw him on Tuesday, but he's making bullshit excuses why he can't come on the show 2 weeks in a row. And I think Barry said it best last week that he should he should change his team into the wedding planners, because it's time to be starting to think about wedding season, because the way his team is, I think he needs to do that. So yeah, it's rough. I don't see the Pancake King changing anytime soon. I know Ruben's team's bad, but I don't see this changing anytime soon. I think Alex is on a way down right now. By the way, Barry listed positive reasons as to why I'm going to be 8th. Kittle will bounce back, and I have him winning this week. Interesting. Yeah, that's true. I was thinking about that. Anyway, okay, so Barry, since Alex is the Pancake King, and since you're a motivational guy, I think it's time for you to give him some piece of advice. We're going to go to our next topic, or our next segment, which is the Barry's Motivational Squeeze. Barry, give it to him.
This is why you're fucking holding back, and I'm tired of the BS.
Give it to him, baby.
Yeah, Alex, the season's not over yet, obviously. You still have plenty of time to get it right. And you can also start trading some of your assets here, i.e. Cooper Kupp. You can get some picks out of him, get some good players, or maybe you can make a run. You can really turn this thing around. So that would be my suggestion for you. It's not over, and you can just got to keep on keeping on, to keep moving forward here. So your situation can change in a short period of time. So just always remember that here.
Hey, that's pretty good. That's good advice right there. It's sound advice. So essentially trade assets and start banking on next year. You said the season's not over yet, but still start trading for next year. I think actually isn't the deadline this week? Did we just pass the deadline
For trading draft picks? It's Monday night. After after the Monday night game ends, it's done.
So it'll be interesting to see if Alex loses this week. We'll see if he actually does. If he does, think about that. He said he hasn't got any offers for Kupp that will make him want to trade him yet. So like maybe by Saturday, maybe someone's on the teetering on the edge of being in the finals. Maybe that'll happen. But you get the offer that he wants. But yeah, good advice, Barry. That's solid stuff right there, buddy.
Hey.
All right, well, folks, that does it for us for another rendition of the Cobb and Dash Show. Cobb, it's amazing having you back. We missed you. It's good to see you, and we can't wait to see you with the Field of Screams on Saturday. We're really excited to have you for that.
Oh yeah, glad to be back and looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, everybody, we wish you guys a good luck, and we hope everyone wins this week, even though that's not possible. We hope 50% of you guys win this week. That's what we give you. We 50% of that. But we'll see you guys next week.